Good evening and welcome back to the channel, all 5 of you. Today I'm going to be doing something that everyone really wanted to see, which is a ranking of the main Home Depot animatronics from this year. Unlike my previous video on the Home Depot lineup, where I was trying to be a little bit more aware of the context of each prop and who it's geared for, this list is going to be purely my opinion. So if I think it's trash, I'm going to trash it. So starting off, we have the Fear Valley Wolf, which technically is a prop from last year, but I am including it in this lineup because they are putting it in the store displays. And I thought it was a very good prop last year, and I still do, so I will be putting that one in S tier. Next we have the, I believe, Guardian of the Graveyard. I can't remember. Again, this is a new prop this year, not like the other one, but not exactly my favorite, but he does have some charm to him, so I'm gonna put him in B. Up next is the Zombie Trio. Well, unfortunately, I think these guys are horrible. They're somehow even worse than the clowns because they don't even make any sense. So these are a definite F. And now we have the Grave Keeper or something. I forgot his name. He seemed pretty cool at first, and we got the preview back in March. But it seems now, after seeing him more closely and hearing a lot of reviews about this guy, he's got a lot of issues. So looks wise, he's pretty cool looking. I would give him a B, but due to the issues that I've heard about him, I'm afraid he has to be a C. And up next we have what is technically another returning prop, but they did make some changes to it, so that's why I'm including it here. It's the Ghost pirate ship. This one was very anticipated. A lot of people really like this one, but not me. I think this is a pretty silly concept. This ship coming out of the ground, or however it's supposed to be, and it's so tiny, it's more like a rowboat, but yet that's not the design. So to me, it's just a very, very silly concept, and I won't put it in F because it's not awful, but it's going in E. And here is Stripe from Gremlins. This one was rather unexpected. Nobody knew that they were going to be doing this year. It kind of just dropped out of nowhere before the props started hitting stores. I think the Gremlins movies are pretty cool, and Stripe was a bit more memorable than Gizmo, I believe was his name. And so I can see why they want to go with the more scary looking Gremlin, and I think they did a good job. I would give him a B. Next we have Tiffany from Bride of Chucky, or I don't remember which movie she first appeared in. But again, if you're a big fan of the movies, then it might be cool to you, but I mean, I've never even seen the other Chucky movies besides the original, so to me it's not very cool. I'm gonna put that in D. And next we have the Ultra Skelly, which, very much like the groundskeeper guy, looked very cool when we first saw him, but as we're starting to see more from him, he's not quite as cool as he was. Now, I don't think he fell as far as the groundskeeper. He still has a lot of uniqueness to him and possible uses that kind of go beyond your standard animatronic, but it's nowhere near as versatile as we were led to believe from the initial images and videos. So because of the issues, I can't give him an S, but because of the uniqueness, I will give him an A. Up next is the Barber. What can I say about this guy? They were going for that Dean the Deathologist aesthetic, and they just missed the ball. Dropped the ball, sorry. he's ridiculous. He's hardly a Halloween animatronic. I expect to see him as part of the discounted props towards the end of the year. Frankly, he's already discounted. If you go on Home Depot's site right now, he is already on sale. So that just goes to show you how well this guy's selling, and I think he's an F. Okay, this is an error on my part. I don't know why there are 2 groundskeepers. Probably because gathering all these pictures was an absolute nightmare. Couldn't download them properly from the website, so I had to go into the element and try to download the physical image itself, and then they came out in the wrong format, so it's a big long thing. So that's probably why I got duplicates in here. I'm sorry about that. So we'll skip him. We're going on to Chucky, Scar Chucky. Again, very much like the Tiffany. You gotta be a fan of the movies. I'm not the greatest fan, so I'm gonna put it with Tiffany in D. Up next is the Megalodon, or it really is a great white shark. I don't know why they had to call it a Megalodon, because it kind of ruins the whole thing. Scale-wise, calling it a great white shark is not too far off from a real great white, but calling it a Megalodon is it's not even close. Like, Megalodon is a lot bigger, so I think they kind of got ahead of themselves on this one, calling it a Megalodon. But going off the prop itself and not counting the name, it's a pretty cool idea, and I think it goes beyond a Halloween decoration. Like, this could just be a decoration for a variety of different things. I'll definitely give him an A. Up next is the Fisherman, or Quint from Jaws, essentially. He's a reskin of the last Fisherman from last year, or was it or the year before? I can't remember. He's okay. I think he's better than the original Fisherman, but he is just an old man in a chair, essentially, so I'm putting him in C. And here we have the Bride of Frankenstein, which is a little bit of a disappointment, I'm not gonna lie. When we got Frankenstein last year and Home Depot made clear that they were into doing the Universal monsters, we were all hoping for perhaps some of the more cooler Universal monsters, like the Creature, or perhaps the Wolfman, the Mummy, and they decided to go with the Bride, which, yeah, it goes with the Frankenstein's monster, but it really isn't a very popular character. However, they did do a good job on this one. It's a pretty decent prop, so I won't drop it too far, but I'm gonna have to put it in B. Next is the Wyvern, which I think is a pretty cool idea. I mean, we've seen dragons before from Spirit Halloween, and I think Lowe's had a dragon one year. This one is a little different. It's got a little bit more movement, but the wings don't move, which is a kind of a huge thing in this case. It really takes away from the effect. It's just the head moves and the jaws kind of snap, and they're real plasticky, so they make a lot of noise. And I mean, it's cool. It's a very imposing looking prop, but it could have been better. I really feel so. I'm also going to put that one in B. Up next is the Troll. This guy's a reskin of the Carnival Karl from last year, and I kind of like this guy, but I kind of don't like this guy. I think they kind of messed up by giving him such a goofy looking face. They should have gone with a more nasty looking troll instead of this goofy cartoon looking troll. And so for that reason, I'm not such a big fan of him. I mean, they could have made something more like a giant, which would have been way more creepier. Like, if any of you are familiar with the Kandahar giant legend, like a big giant with a red beard and maybe like a spear or something, like that would have been much more creepy than this goofy troll. But they went with the troll. It's not the worst idea, but I'm not a fan of the execution, so I'm going to go with C. Up next is the Fire Reaper, or something like that. I can't remember. The hiring manager of Home Depot. I know a lot of people are not particularly fond of this guy, mostly because of his movement, but I really like this dude. I'm putting him in S because this is my list, and I don't care if people don't like him. And now we have the Leprechaun, Again, another kind of unique, strange idea from Home Depot. I'm not really sure what made them decide to do a leprechaun. I appreciate the uniqueness of it. I think it's a cool concept. But I really have no idea what I would do with a leprechaun. Like, where do you fit a leprechaun in? I mean, unless you just have like a ton of stuff going on and he's just like one of the guys, he really doesn't fit with anything. So for that reason, I'm also going to put him in B. Up next is the Pigman Butcher, which is not even in the stores. At least I haven't seen him. And I mean, he's kind of cool, but he's also kind of silly. And we've all seen this guy before from Spirit. So I'm going to put him in D. And now we have the Cauldron Witches. Again, very trite. We've seen it multiple times before at this point. And there's nothing particularly special about them. I'm afraid they're in E. And now we have the Raven, who is a reskin of the Plague Doctor from last year. Now, I really liked the Plague Doctor last year. I think he's definitely an S-tier prop. However, this guy is a step down from Plague Doctor. If you hear his voice, it's just kind of odd. So for that, and the fact that he is directly being compared to the Plague Doctor, who is, in my point of view, a lot better, I can't put him very high. I'm gonna have to say he's a C. And here's another surprise prop from them. This one was also not anticipated. It was kind of dropped late. It's the arachnophobia spider or something they call it. It's this giant spider, and we've seen giant spiders before, but this one is probably the best giant spider that we have seen, at least that I have seen, and I think they did a really good job on this one. I'm going to call him an S tier. Here's the Bony Cat, very much like last year's Bony Dog. Once again, we got bony ears, and I'm sorry, I just cannot go with this. It's an F. And here is one of the two giant props. Now, we've seen the giant Skelly, which is 12 feet, but these are like giant props. These are 15 feet, like the Phantom from a couple years back. And this is the Galley Crow. I haven't seen this one in person, but it looks pretty cool from the pictures. And the giant height, I think it's hard to put it anything lower than A with just the sheer size of it. And same with the Worry Crow. This one I have seen, though it was clearly put together by the Three Stooges. It was a disaster in the store. But you can still get a vibe of what it's like, and it's pretty cool. So I'm going to call that one an A as well. And lastly, we have the giant Skelly that Home Depot has every year, and kind of started this whole thing, you could say. And I'm going to say something that maybe people agree with, maybe they don't, but I think this guy has become really bad because everybody and their mother has this guy now. So he's just like the standard Halloween decoration. You just see him everywhere at this point. So there's nothing unique about him. He's no longer cool. He's just this super common, recognizable Halloween prop. And for that reason, I wish they would discontinue him, actually, because then he'd become rare again, and then maybe he would be more unique and cool when you saw him. But as they keep bringing him back, you're just going to keep seeing more and more of him. So I'm going to put him in E because I want them to stop promoting the skeleton because of how trite he has become. And that's going to do it for this list. I'm sure a lot of people think this is going to be garbage. Well, a lot of people, 5 people that watch this video, but even then, I don't think this list is in alignment with what most people feel about this year's lineup and how it should go. But that's okay. Feel free to tear me in the comments. I know I deserve it. And I'll see you next time. Or maybe not. This might be my last video. We'll find out.